Alright guys, I want to give you an updated deck profile on my Eldlich Horus build. This is inspired by deck list. You might have seen it. It topped a online regional a couple weeks ago. YouTuber on here named Gores. Anyways, I put my own little spin on it. Changed the extra deck up some. Changed the main deck up some. The side deck. Pretty much everything's different. But I actually just took this to an OTS championship and I got second place. So I got my Nationals invite off of this deck. This deck can win. My matchups were Branded, and then the other one was Pearly. And I'm not saying this just to brag, but I really beat Pearly fairly easily with this deck, especially when siding in. The third matchup was a weird, like, Sinful Spoils, Snake Eyes, Horus conglomeration. I mean, I don't even know what to call that deck, but he 2-0'd me. I bricked really hard, so that doesn't help. But I actually played him again afterwards, and which I did kind of brick again. I just wanted to see, you know, if it was the deck or just the luck of the draw. But maybe he just had the best cuts on earth. But let's look at the main deck first. I think this is a really powerful build. Got Eldlich, running 2 Eldlich. Let's see. We're running 3 of the Sanguine, 2 of the Haquero. Let me get them all out. And 3 Conks. The Conks are pretty standard. The Elixirs are pretty standard. The whole Horus engine is only like, what is it, 10 cards? Yeah. Not that much. If you want to run the negate trap, I don't know that would have actually came in handy in this, and I don't think it would have changed anything. But you have this right here. I mean, that's your Horus engine. That's your Horus engine right there. 3, 6, 8, 10. 10 cards. Bam. You have a whole engine. And it's powerful. I mean, it's a powerful engine. He's on the field. Activate this. It's a pop. Activate this. It resolves. It is a banish. I mean, it's very powerful. Plus his effect to send 1, pop 1. You know, if you have this in hand, you can send these to the grave. And in phase, you're going to set an elixir. You're probably going to get one of these out somehow, depending on what turn it is or if you have it in hand. So the Eldlich itself can carry you. It really can. I also had a good matchup against Infernoble later that day. It wasn't at the event. But anyway, your Eldlich package. That's that. Pretty simple. You've been seeing this for years if you've been playing. I've been running some variation of Eldlich pretty much for the last few years since I got back into it, on and off. Our Floodgates, I want to go over these first. 2 Skill Drain, 2 Summon Limit, and the Tikaboo. The Tikaboo, I think I sided it out pretty much every game. It just doesn't really do that well. You would think maybe Pearly, but not really. Not that great against Pearly. So I would side it out and opt for other things. So Skill Drain, auto win in most cases. If they don't have spell and trap removal, that's usually an auto win, because Eldlich is big. You'll see the other engine, the Horus engine. Your Horus monsters are big. Typically, you'll just run over whatever they have. They won't be able to do anything about it. And then the summon limit, sided that out a good bit too. It works good against, I think that helped me win the game against the Branded. Because when Brandon goes off, there's one thing this deck lacks, and that's hand traps. So sometimes Branded can go off, and there's really nothing you can do about it, or any combo heavy decks. Oh, one more card. This technically is part of the of the Eldlich engine, so you call it 11 cards. That one, you're typically going to side this out, but every now and then it makes for good ash bait, if nothing else. The Horus, let's see, 3 Mseti, that's your Searcher. Also, it's going to special back from the grave. If that resolves, just know you're probably going to be winning that duel if that resolves. 3 King Sark. Some people would do 2, but you want to see that. You want to see it. You don't want to see 2 in hand a lot of times, but there are times where 2 in hand isn't the worst thing ever. Canopic Protector. We got these other, one more, yeah, Dumatef. Some people don't run all 3 of these, but I think that there's situations where the Horus cards can just carry the entire game. I had a game like that against Pearly. I think I OTK'd him on turn 2, just because this guy had like 4,800 attack because all 4 were on field, and I outed his Noir with a Lava Golem or a Kaiju or something. I can't remember. I think it was a Lava Golem. He had something else on the field. Now the next package, the Kin and Gin. You're going to run 3. This is pretty standard. You're going to run 3. Nadir Servant. That's going to be your next big package. Nadir. You're going to run 3 of them. Sometimes you can side out 1, depending on what you really need. And you can count this as part of that. Let me clean that up a little bit. Clean this up. Over there. Anyways, this package right here is pretty powerful on its own. It can buy you a turn, if nothing else. And you'll see why we're running Nadir and Dogmatica in a minute. Of course, we're running Intis in the extra deck, Garura, and Fossil Skull Warrior. Those cards are just crazy. That is just crazy. You want to talk about just really throwing stuff off? That's crazy. Popping something. Pop 2. A lot of times that's a pop 2 with Dogmatica. That's powerful. Of course, you got to know when to activate it and when not, and when to chain. I didn't mention this Canopic Protector. I don't know if it came up once and actually helped me, but it's part of the Horus engine. I will probably cut this. I'll probably put in another Dogmatica punishment in there. But if it ever comes up, it can be handy because it's once per chain. So say these get sent to the graveyard. You activate this, you can bring pretty much every one of them back every time that they use something. Because let's say they just pop the King Sark. You got this as backup, and you can at least get all these back on the field. And if their effects didn't already resolve, then you can get them to resolve. So that can be pretty crazy. Now for the next 2 talents. 2 talents, that comes up a good bit. Say you activate the Gin and you give them a Kin, then automatic talents. Automatic. Or let's say you activate the Gin and they block it with a Veiler or something like that. Automatic talents. Let's say you activate Eldlich, they ash it. Automatic talents. There's so many times in that. Rhoda, they ash it. Automatic talents. The Rhoda self-explanatory. Search the Kin. I mean, Kin or Gin, whichever one you want. It depends on the situation. Most of the time, I'm going to want the cards, so I'm going to take the Gin. And then the one of Daruma Cannon maybe could push this to 2. This helped me in a match. I don't think this actually came up in the OTS championship, but it came up in locals. So it's a good. I would probably push this to 2. If I took this out, I would probably push this to 2 or Dogmatica. Very good going first card if you draw into it, but it's not really something you want to see in your hand most of the time. But it's just if you draw into it, that's good. But I would much rather have other stuff in my hands. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. Let me get out the extra deck. The extra deck is where it gets pretty interesting. This is where I changed it up a lot. Changed it up a good bit. Coach King did not come up once. Typhon, I think that may have came up once. I don't even know if it, I can't even remember. This comes up a good bit, in time. That can come up. Just make that, and then after, try to attack, make Zeus. Intis, simply Dogmatica or Nadir fodder. Garura, first turn, Nadir to draw 1. I accidentally had to put an extra Typhon in there because my deck list was already there and I didn't want to have to redo it all. This is a unique one. So when you make him with a level 7 or higher monster, he cannot be destroyed by card effects, and he cannot be targeted with card effects. So that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy right there. And he has the banish, non-targeting banish when he attacks, or he can attack twice. He just ends duels. He ends duels when that resolves. Say it's turn 3, you survive their turn 2 with the Horus monsters. Make him with the Horus monsters, then bring them all back. You got game there most of the time. Fossil Skull Warrior, just another dogmatic or nadir pop. Except I think this one can only be done on your turn, if I remember right. Hope Harbinger, didn't come up once. It can come up though. It's just situational. But, most of the time people can play around that. Zombie Vampire, that's good for milling. I can't remember if I made this even once. It's another one though. If you need to mill some stuff, some of that Eldlich engine, it can help with that. SP, that comes up. I mean, it's completely situational, but it comes up. This, just an easy way to make Little Knight. Underworld Goddess, when you really get all those Horus monsters on board, and let's just say they ended on a Noir or something, this is a way to get rid of that. And then the Dark Charmer, I think I did use this once, and I can't remember if that's how I gained them or not. I think I took I may have took one of their Bestials or something. And anyways, this one comes up. A lot of people are playing Dark. You also have the light one, so you might could take the light one and replace it with one of these Typhons. Or another Nadir or Dogmatic of Punishment target. That Bucephalus, or whatever his name is. Just some options there. Alright, let's go into the side deck. This is where it gets kind of weird. A little bit. This is probably not what most people would play. 3 Droplet. That can come up, but it has cost, has heavy cost. And you got to discard typically. Then we have 3. Where's the other nib? There it is. 3 nib. I sided it in. I don't think I got to use it once. Golem. This card just slaps. This card slaps, man. It's you're playing Pearly. Don't lose to Pearly. This is here. These two. Don't lose to Baron. Don't lose to Chaos Angel. Don't lose to Pearly. Don't lose to those. Play these. This is better than Nib. It's better than Nib because you don't have to worry about, especially turn 2. Say they end on Baron, Despater. This guy. Say they just end on IP and another monster to try to, do the Little Knight play. This guy. If you have both in hand, take the Baron or whatever else, and then the IP and whatever else, gone. Just keep in mind that does burn your normal summon up. Spell and trap removal. Yeah, that's just it. You gotta play that. Gotta play this. Not evenly, because evenly, you lose your battle phase pretty much. So, I wouldn't go there. And then 1 Dark Ruler no more. This card's good if it goes through. It's really good. So I would just keep that. Sometimes you need that, sometimes you don't. It kind of goes with the droplets, but I don't remember that this ever came up. Maybe once. But like I said, it wasn't enough to actually remember it. Really just the core deck just pretty much carried the entire games. Now, like I said, in the Pearly matchup, the siding was critical. And, I drew good. I will say that. But, it was just game 2. So, I was going to get to go first if I lost. Hey, you never know. But yeah, this is the deck. And if anybody thinks Eldlich is dead, and I hear people saying that, oh, that's not meta. Okay, well, if it's not meta, then maybe I don't want to be meta. But it's a good enough deck to, top a OTS championship, although it was a small one. still, and it's performed well at locals. There's never a matchup where I just feel overpowered. Let me put it that way. I never feel overpowered. The worst matchup for this deck, I would say, is Rescue Ace. That's probably the worst matchup, but that's not a great matchup for anybody right now. But anyways, guys, I hope you like it. Try it out. It's not a cheap deck. I will say that it's not cheap. Once you put all the stuff you need in here, it really adds up. Some of these cards are still, but like the Eldlich side of it, pretty cheap. Most expensive cards in here are going to be like the Kennigan are cheap. The Horus stuff's pretty expensive. But nonetheless, I mean, nothing in here is just insanely overpriced. But you've probably got most of it already. But you know, you talk about the SP, the Typhons, and Zeus, Coach King. You can easily start climbing up in the money, but a lot of people they're already using a lot of these cards. Most of these have gotten reprints at this point, so pretty much all the side deck is dirt cheap. So there's really no excuses if you're looking to build a new deck and have fun. This is a fun deck. This is a fun one. A lot of people, you know, they get so hung up on playing meta, and it can just become not fun. Like when I play with Unchained, I just don't have fun with it. It's not fun. Labyrinth. I have a Labyrinth deck. It's not fun to me. But this, when it goes off, it's fun. So that's what it's all about, guys. I'll probably take this until I don't do good at a regional or a OTS. I'll probably keep playing with this unless something gets hit by the ban list. I mean, like the Horus cards. If the Horus cards get hit by the ban list, that will really hurt that engine. They say they put the King Sark at 1 or M Seti at 1. That could really hurt it. But other than that, I don't foresee anything else in here getting hit. Skill Drain might get hit, but I'm only running 2 anyway. I don't think they'll take it less than that. And I'd almost be willing to run 3 Skill Drain and take out one of the Tikaboos. Because right now a lot of people are playing around Tikaboo. So you know, there's that. And then the Skill Drain typically hurts anything, pretty much anything nowadays. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'm just rambling at this point. Hope you like the deck. Y'all have a good one.